What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about XRP today. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, my friends. Let's get into it. Okay, here we are, sitting at about $2.37. Seeing a little bit of a move down as of our last move up. Right, you slipped, man. You fell all the way down to $1.79. Came right back up as quick as it happened. It evaporated, and you've been moving down since. What we're looking for here is a very specific indication that you are ready to break out to the upside. Okay, what we're looking for is what's called a partial decline. And oftentimes you see partial declines happen in broadening wedge patterns, broadening top patterns, okay? A partial decline is where you reach for the trend line. It's as if you are to hit it. Inevitably, it would seem as though you would, right? If you look at these trend lines here, if we were moving up, where would we stop? The interpretation might be there. If we were to move down, where would we stop? The interpretation might be there. A partial decline is where you would expect to hit this line, but you don't. You reverse at some point in the middle of it. You find support somewhere else, and you don't interact with this trend line. Oftentimes, that's rather suggestive that instead of hitting this line, you're going to hit this line, and when you make contact of this line where you should have made contact of this line, you likely break out and go to the upside. A partial decline, my friends, is what we're looking for when it comes to XRP. In other words, don't touch this line. It's okay if you do. It's totally fine if you do. But if you don't, we get the signal that we're ready to move higher in a rather immediate kind of format. So that would be nice. That would be encouraging to see. If you move down, again, if you move lower, if you go below this low, not a big deal. Right, you're at $2.37 right now. The only people that it would be a big deal for are the people who are in long positions. But if you're just holding your buying and you're at spot prices and you're just adding more, it's not a big deal. Going down here is not going to break XRP. It's not going to plummet it to the depths and deaths. It's not going to be worth 2 cents again ever, right? But it would be more ideal, I think, to turn around without interacting with that line, right? It looks to me as if you would be reaching for it, right? It certainly doesn't look like we're pointed this way. It looks like we're pointed this way. So a partial decline is what we're looking for. Whether you agree with that or you don't agree with that, that's okay. We don't have to agree, right? All we can say, or on a very simple level at least, what we could say is that you're finding support at an area where you found support once, twice before, okay? On your RSI, you're at the lowest levels in your RSI that you've been in since October, okay? You've done lower lows this whole time, and all you've had is higher lows in the price. You take that's a good thing, right? That's a hidden bullish divergence is what that's called. High to low here, low to high, I should say. Low to high here, we have pulled just below the 382, hit the 236. Likely we do go lower is what this tells me, but as long as we hit and find support at the 26 or the 618, the golden ratio, at $2.05 to $2.12, somewhere in there, I think we're fine. So even this looks rather productive. We look at the 4-hour RSI. It also looks like you're turning a tide a little bit here. I don't know. Let me explain my thoughts here. Okay, so here you moved up, you found support on the 50. You should have gotten overbought. You should have moved up there, but you didn't. You found support on the 50 once, good. Twice, good. Why is it that you keep finding support on the 50, but you're not doing anything good with any of those moments? So, of course, you reverse. But now we're doing things a bit opposite. We're finding resistance on the 50. You went down, but you didn't get oversold. Resistance on the 50. You found resistance here again. If you can begin to move up, if you're finding resistance at the 50 time and time again, but you don't get to the oversold zone, likely, just like this, you'll get a nice move, but this time to the upside. This is on a 4-hour basis. You are rejecting the 50. I would expect you come down from here, but do you go all the way down there? I don't know. If you were to go all the way down there, you'd have to move down now. If you were to go all the way down to $2.11, $2.05, you would not move above $2.50. If you get back above $2.50, you likely will not move down there. But if you break below $2.23 before you get to $2.50, you inevitably likely do see $2.12 to $2.05. That's my guess. But I think you find support there. I think you find support there if you go down there at all. If you go down there at all. A lot of cryptos have recently been finding support on their 0.5s, their 50 areas. Right here, if it'll let me. Right here. A lot of cryptos have been finding support there, so 223 is definitely an area to watch. But if you don't find support at 223, $2.05 to $2.11 is where I think you would go. Of course, again, both of those ideas are scrapped. They're off the tables. You're moving up higher instead, as long as you get a price to move above $2.50 and a half cents. $2.51 ideally would be a nice signal there. So you're at 238 now. I do think you move down, just momentarily, today, tomorrow, whatever, over the next couple days. But I don't think you move down for too much longer. Yeah. 1 hour time frame. You're showing signs that you're ready. You're definitely ready. You're starting to turn the tides, but you might move down a little bit first. Looking at the date or the weekly RSI, we go to the weekly time frame here. You've got lower highs here, higher highs there. People are going to say that's bearish divergence, and yes, it is. It 100% is. But you already had your move down. Your bearish divergence was up here. Your bearish divergence, whenever it came into effect, gave you a move that from a high to a low dropped XRP, the like third ranked crypto in the crypto world. It dropped it 47% in the course of like a 2-week period. So that's bearish divergence. Yes, it already happened though, right? It doesn't need to go lower just because it's bearish divergence. In fact, this wick, this candle is a very bullish looking candle, and especially whenever you culminate it with the fact that you've also got lower lows in the weekly RSI here. You've got lower lows. You're at the 60, which is a very good area to bounce, by the way. You rejected this area sometimes. Reject, reject, reject. Find support where you once rejected. That's a powerful signal in itself. Not only that, but also with these higher lows coming in trajectory here, it looks perfect. It makes sense. I suspect XRP a day and 20 hours from now probably closes about here, around this area, maybe a little lower, maybe a little higher, but around this area. The lower lows in the RSI with the higher lows in the price, low here, higher low here. Yes, the price went lower here, but on a closing basis, it went higher. Higher lows there, that's hidden bullish divergence. It's a very powerful signal. It's not a very powerful signal. It's a suggestive signal that you're not going to go lower and that you will go higher. If we were to go higher, let's run with that suggestion, right? Let's see if we can run with that idea there. If you were to go higher, where would you go? We're going to take last cycle's high to the bear cycle low that you have here, and we're going to project out. I love what you're doing here, by the way. Finding support at the 100, finding resistance at the 1272, consolidating in this zone. You guys, it's super bullish. I think you would at least go to your 1618, your golden ratio, that orange line there. That 1618 is at $6.41. You're at $2.38 now. Your minimum target by the end of, if not February, by the end of March. I was thinking this move would happen by the end of February, but crypto's been consolidating for a little bit longer. We've been moving sideways. As we continue to move sideways, it makes sense that the targets would not come down, but they would just be pushed back to a further date, right? It's not that moving sideways, not moving up, not moving down is going to suggest anything different in the price to me, other than the date is going to be pushed back. It can suggest different things in the price as far as growth goes. It all depends, but for this specific instance right here, to me, I'm just thinking of it as a pushback in time. 641 or higher, it's inevitable. Whenever this thing breaks out, it's inevitable. But it's when it breaks out, right? When is it going to break out? We look at the weekly time frame. I think next week, man. I really do. I really think, well, and maybe I shouldn't say break out, but next week it'll start moving up again. I think next week will be the beginning of what takes us up to 641 or higher. If we go above 641, the next target area is 1071 to $13.32, somewhere in this area. Okay, it's this target area. So it's either 642, 641. It's either this, or you're reaching for the sky, right? It's nothing shy of brilliant. In other words, right? You're at 238 now. The third largest crypto, if not one of the largest cryptos. Let me see. Fourth, but USDT doesn't count. It's the third largest crypto, okay? It absolutely is. By market cap value. And you're telling me that this thing's going to see at a minimum of a 2.7x from its current price in what would likely be the next month's worth of time. If not more, I think that's awesome. I think it's badass, man. I think that's incredible. You've got one of the least risky bets in crypto, and you can rest assured that your money will more than double in about a month's time. right? That's my thoughts. Nothing is guaranteed. None of this is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, right? I don't know the future. I don't have a crystal ball, but I very much do expect that alt season is about to begin. I think coins like XRP will be leading the pack, and it's just miraculous that this coin that has such a high market cap could see such phenomenal growth in such a very short amount of time. I don't really know what else to say. I think we've covered all the bases, right? We're waiting on XRP to just make its move and make it move up a little bit higher. I do suspect it could go lower. My expectation would be I don't think it goes below $2. I'm personally not even expecting that you really go too much below $2.20. You're at 237 now, a little bit lower nonetheless is what I'd expect maybe today, maybe over the next couple days. But this week I would expect does close, and we only have really 2 days left, so I do expect this week to close around here. We could close at 220. We could close below there. It's fine. But a close around here at the 60 on the weekly RSI I think would be a very powerful signal if we can get next week to be green as well. I think I've said everything I need to say. I think you guys get the picture, the message. If you do, hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. And if you don't get the picture, leave it in the comments. Tell me what I left out or tell me where you're confused, and I will try to make up for that in the next one. All right, take it easy. Bye-bye.